Honourable Member from Summerside-Wilmot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm worried about the housing situation in Summerside. I know the vacancy rate is approaching 3% in Charlottetown, but it is not in Summerside. In fact, we've only had a healthy vacancy rate 1 year in the last decade, and we still have some of the lowest rates in the country. But what do those numbers actually mean? Behind those stats, you have people, and their stories could be anyone's. I have a constituent with 2 children who has rented the same home for $780 heat and lights in, for 9 years. And through no fault of her own, she needs to move this month. The discovery that her wages had clearly not kept pace with the increasing cost of rent was the first shock. There was nothing in her price range. As the days went by, she found herself calling about places that were way outside of her price range because being homeless with 2 school-aged children was scarier than not having enough money to pay for rent and for groceries. But here's the second shock. She couldn't even get a viewing for places that she could never sustainably afford because so many people were applying for the same few spots. By the time she finally did get a place that was nearly twice what she could afford, she was days away from moving into a hotel room with her kids. I cannot describe her stress. I've spoken with another woman who is a social assistance client who said she would be willing to use her whole food allowance, all her living allowances, every dime she had toward rent at this point, if she could only find somewhere for her and her children to live. There isn't anywhere to go. Still, others stay in situations where they are unhappy or unsafe. We simply don't have enough safe and affordable housing in Summerside. Rental vouchers are a decent band-aid when you have empty places for a person to move into, but you can't live in a rental voucher. I urge government to use every tool in the toolbox and look at creative solutions because the people behind these statistics are really struggling. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.